Goody, 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 everyone. This is Dayhawk bringing to you episode 59 of Shaman King '01. So, the Great Spirits has summoned the shamans, and he has unleashed beams of light, and everybody from How to his followers, including Yoh and Manta, go inside the beam and they're transferred to the holy ground of the stars. And before Lyserg was about to go inside, Jan stops him, saying, "Are you sure you want to go?" And Lyserg is, I have a new duty now. I have to save and protect my friends, even though he did try to sacrifice them to the gate of Babylon, but that's that's neither here or there. Let it go. Let it go. So, with John's blessing, she gives him a new pendulum. And he goes to the holy ground of the stars. And meanwhile, we get to see Ren and Ryu with two followers of Hal fighting each other. So they made it into the land of the holy ground. And holy ground of the stars, yes. Yeah. Gotta remember that. To the holy ground of the stars, and they end up fighting each other. And then we meet Yoh with Karim and Silva. And of course we get Chrome and his friend. And of course Silva's like, "What the hell are you doing here? You're supposed to protect the Great Spirit, not join Hal, of course." And speaking of Hal, he goes on his way, and then we get to see Manta. And of course Manta thought it was Yoh, but it was Hal. And by his amazement, Hal is like, "How did you get here? A mere human." And Manta's like, "Well, I followed Yoh here. He's my best friend," and all that. And of course Hal is like, goes the same old speech about shamans and humans can never be friends type of deal. And yeah, it's just this whole thing trying to convince Manta that Yoh can never be friends with a human like him. And back to Silva, Yoh, and Chrome. Chrome tells everybody that Silva is a descendant of Hal. And Silva tells the story of how he was resurrected as a member of the Patch. He took the Spirit of Fire, which is one of the 5 elemental spirits, and he has a sense of responsibility because in this story it was discovered that Hal had a family. Hal had a family, a son, and after he betrayed the Patch and stole the Spirit of Fire, the wife and son was about to get their punishment, which is really unfair. Let's face it. Because, Silva assumed that they were going to die, but the Patch decided that, they will raise the boy as their own. The mother is still alive, of course. And years later, we got Silva. And he has Hao's blood in his veins, and he feels this huge responsibility on his shoulders, just like the Asakuras. And he figured he needs to be the one to take down Hao. And yeah, it sucks to have that responsibility, but I mean, he feels that he's tainted and all that, but it's untrue. And we get to see Chrome, and I forgot the guy's name. I know it's not Manta, it was somebody else. And they end up fighting each other, both Karim and Silva, while Yoh went on his merry way. And Silva had difficulties defeating him because he has too many spirits, apparently. Then meanwhile, back with how Apacho and Manta, Apache was like, is this wise to have him follow us? And Hao's like, it's okay, it doesn't matter. The result will be the same. And you see Manta's face. And then back to the fight. Ren is getting overwhelmed. Also Ryu. And then Poyote appears with his giant skeleton. And the boys were wondering how in the hell did he get more powerful, because they've noticed that all three of them, their Feiryoku has increased. And then Poyote was telling the story that when they were in the beam getting transferred to the holy ground of the stars, Hao appeared in front of each and every one of them and bestow upon them new powers. And that he will be waiting for them at the other side. And so as Ryu was about to get killed by the giant skeleton, Horo came in, blocked the attack, and again another Hao follower appears with his new power, tackles giant Bison. But here's the thing though, he could not control that the new Feiryoku he gained, and it looked like either he collapsed or he just died because of the overload of Feiryoku. And then what makes matters worse, the Chisto comes in and just made the odds even worse for the Yoh Yohs. And Ryu gets knocked away, but luckily Chocolove appears. And then Faust came in to even the odds. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 versus. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be 4 versus 5. And meanwhile, we see Anna, Yome, and his wife preparing what it looks like the 180 beads. The same beads that sealed away Hao a long time ago. So she's casting spells and blessings on those beads. And once they're done, Anna is ready to go to the holy ground of the stars. So that's what her future grandparents wanted her to stay back and wait. Meanwhile, Lego Man appears, so it's now 5-on-5. But even though the odds are right now are even, House followers got the upper hand because of the major power boost. And so Luchisto goes after Ren, and all of a sudden Poyote attacks Ren, gets flown, and at the end, he is injured badly to the point where you see blood just coming out from Ren's back. And that's the end of this episode. If you've seen the reboot, it's kind of similar. The only difference is Poyote stabs him through, and legitimately he was dead. In this case here, he is at the border between life and death at this point. So, and you can hear the scream from poor Horus, like, Ren, to the point where it's like, it was really, really loud, and like, oh man. But this episode is, not a whole lot is revealed, except that we all knew for a fact that Silva was a descendant of Hal. It's just what we didn't know is the backstory, more detail of him having a wife and child, and they were about to be punished for Hal's, betrayal and the theft of the Great Spirit of Fire, but luckily it didn't happen. And what else? And also Ren's injury and Hal's no, that's not a word, bestowing his followers new powers. But unfortunately, if they don't know how to use it, if they don't know how to use it properly, either they get knocked out unconscious or they die. And poor Manta stuck with Hal, and just Hal was like, yeah, you can follow us, but I mean the result is the same, and Yoh is not your friend. Humans can never be friends with shamans. That's the whole deal. Hal kind of gives me the Magneto vibes in this episode. He does. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Did I miss anything? Did you like the episode? Did you dislike the episode? Give me all the details if you've already seen the episode. And give a like if you like it. Please subscribe if you like my work. And I will see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!